Now, let's take an inward journey with Justine Shaki from Melbourne, a light language channel teacher and a soul purpose mentor, into this mystical realm of multidimensional shadow work and discover the profound light that lives inside of us. Often in places where we don't want to look, let's cultivate this curiosity and courage to awaken our purpose at the level of self, humanity, the earth, and the greater cosmic story that you are a vital part of. With that, I would now cordially invite Justine Shaki. Justine Shaki, over to you.
Thank you so much, Lavanya, and thank you for that very generous introduction. And thank you, everybody, for having me here. I feel so honored and blessed to be a part of this global gathering and alongside so many beautiful teachers and speakers to, share this message. I think that we're all working towards the same goals for this world and for humanity. Kapanya, that was just such a beautiful meditation as well. I'm so grateful that I followed you because I feel so nice and calm and centered in myself. Your message was beautiful, and I really feel this deep connection to everybody around the planet. So thank you so much. I am going to share my screen for my talk. So just give me one moment. I hope that this is working. Okay, Lavanya, can you see my screen okay?
Yes, I can.
Beautiful. There we go. Okay. Oh, okay. So thank you again once again for having me. I am so excited to share my story and what I've learned through multidimensional shadow work and how this can be a powerful pathway to raise our consciousness and embody our soul purpose. Oh, it's not clicking over. Oh, here we go. Okay, got to work out the technical situation that I'm definitely not a master at. So let's arrive. We've already had such a beautiful meditation. I already feel like we're so present, and I really encourage you to stay in this energy of the meditation of your inner experience and practice staying in your own inner state throughout my presentation. I really believe that these teachings and all of our stories, when they're felt and received while we're connected to our body and our energy rather than the mind and the rational understanding of the words, we really receive the transmission and we come into a deeper experience of the stories. So welcoming your whole self into this space over the next few breaths and letting that be all of your light and all of your shadow. All of you is welcome in this space. And so coming into your body through the breath, welcoming yourself into this space and the energy and the wisdom that you contribute by being here. I really want to acknowledge in this moment the Bunurong people, the Indigenous Aboriginals that were the original owners of the land that I live on, that I'm coming to from today from. And just really acknowledging their wisdom that we get to receive every day living on this land. And you might like to connect to the land that you are on in this moment and the original owners of the original medicine and wisdom that you're receiving by being connected to the earth, where you are. And I feel like as we're each connecting into the part of the earth where we are from and then bringing that back into the space, we're creating a beautiful web of light together, a transmission of information and energy that we can all source from. And then just before I begin, a gentle note around safety. I really believe that safety is the most important quality to cultivate within ourselves when we're doing work around our consciousness and we're doing conscious evolution work. And so I really want you to tap into your body in this moment, to cultivate safety in your body here and now. And you can do that by a gentle breath in and out of the nose, sends a really beautiful message of safety into your nervous system. And a reminder to really be your own genius throughout this presentation. And so there might be things that don't resonate for you and you can absolutely just leave those, or there might be things that you're curious about and you feel really good to open up to feel into that. And there might be things that just really resonate with you already and you already know is a truth. And so whatever it is for you, I really want you to initiate yourself as your own genius so that you're really cultivating a deeper truth within yourself. So I believe that the greatest untapped light lives inside of you. It's unique to only you, and it's the reason that you are here on this planet at this pivotal moment in time. When this light is discovered and embodied and shared outwardly, it supports you to live a personal life of joy and fulfillment and true abundance, as well as it also contributes to the ripple of awakening that is happening inside of the earth, inside of the hearts of humanity, and inside of the greater cosmic story that we are all a vital part of. So when this light is awakened and embodied and shared, you know who you are beyond this physical identity that we all have, our name and the roles that we play in our life. You know who you are and you know why you are here. The only catch is that it is buried underneath the one place that we don't want to look, our shadows. So my name is Justine Shaki. I'm a light language channel, teacher, and soul purpose mentor. My background is in psychology and psychotherapy, and I used to work in really mainstream environments like high schools and as a family counsellor in the Australian Defence Force. But then in 2020, I had a mystical experience that changed my reality, and it absolutely changed my life and my work. So in March 2020, it was when COVID was just entering Melbourne, where I live, for the very first time. I was in bed with severe tonsillitis. As the outside world was falling apart, I'm sure you can remember your own experience of those early days when the COVID virus was kind of entering your lives. I knew that something big was about to happen to me internally. I could feel it for a few days building up. And in a very mundane moment, when I was actually feeling very sick and sorry for myself and very much in my humanity, a council of light appeared in my bedroom. They presented themselves as pillars of white light, and they created a circle around me being the 13th in the circle, and there was 12 pillars. I had this sense that I knew, even though I could only kind of see the pillars like in my room, I knew that the tops of the pillars went all the way into the heavens. There was no end. And the bottoms of the pillars went all the way into the earth, and there was no end. And each pillar from its heart space had a different pastel light emanating from its heart space. I knew in that moment that the light being that was next to me on my right was Mother Mary. And I had had experiences with her in the months leading up to this that, as I found out later, was preparing my whole energy body and my consciousness to be at a level where I was able to meet the whole council. I knew in that moment, I knew a lot of things in that moment kind of instantly. The process or the actual experience probably lasted about 5 minutes of clock time, but I felt like I received light years of information that I'm still receiving even, today. I knew that my role was to learn who each of the beings were in this council of light, and that I was just to dedicate myself through meditation and through my own personal practices to meet them all and to learn their wisdom and what they were here to teach me. And that process took me 2 years to meet each of the council members. I'm just going to take a sip of tea. When I asked them in that first meeting what their name was, they responded Metatron Council of Light. And at that moment, I didn't know that I'd never actually heard the word Metatron before. I didn't know that Metatron was an archangel. And so that name sounded and felt quite strange to me at the time. What happened in that first meeting was they picked up all the puzzle pieces of my purpose that had been scattered on the floor. I remember even as a child deeply knowing that I was here for a reason, but not being able to piece it together or not being able to understand what that is or give any language to what I felt deep within me. And so in that moment, they picked up all the pieces of my purpose and it's like they made a tapestry in front of me that showed me everything. In that moment, the entire cosmos made sense. I made sense inside of the cosmos. Everything beyond my rational understanding made sense to me, and I felt deeply at home and deeply at peace. And it's not like they showed me a tapestry of like pictures of what I would be doing or anything like that. The tapestry was essentially a vibration of consciousness, that I was destined to embody, hopefully in this lifetime. I think I'm still working towards the final embodiment of it. But I knew I was here to be a channel for them, to receive their messages of love, of a higher consciousness, of information, and to create spaces for other people, for them to be able to experience themselves and their multidimensional truth. And so this is what now my work is really dedicated to doing. This sounds like a beautiful, amazing experience, and it definitely was. But as I will talk about later in my talk, it initiated me in some of the deepest personal and collective shadow work that I had to do to really start to embody the full vision that I saw in that moment. And so my intention for today is to help you to connect to your multidimensionality and your higher purpose that comes from this place. And I know there's just so many masterful teachers and practitioners in this space. And so I hope what I have to offer is helping you to connect to what you've already cultivated within yourself, and even holding a space for you to look at things from a new perspective, perhaps. And I feel like I'm just receiving so much wisdom and energy from the whole group. It just feels like such a co-creation. And also my intention is to inspire you to explore your shadow in maybe new ways, with curiosity, compassion, and confidence, and maybe even a little bit of excitement. So we're going to cover some definitions. I'll talk about what is dimensions of consciousness, what is soul purpose embodiment, and what is multidimensional shadow work. I'll talk about soul quantum embodiment, which is the modality or the process that I've cultivated through my own personal experience and working with so many clients in this field. What it looks like when our soul purpose isn't embodied versus when it is embodied. I will talk a little bit more about that mystical experience and how it really started the shadow work journey for myself personally, and then led me to the blueprint for soul embodiment. I'll chat about some of my client experiences, which kind of puts all of these teachings into something a bit more tangible. And then we'll end with some tips on where to start if you're completely new to this, but also how to go deeper if you're already on the path. So let's define a few things, and we'll start with dimensions of consciousness. So this representation, this graphic representation, is who you are. And many different lineages may explain this in different ways or use different words for the same or similar things. And so you can kind of put your own meaning or lineage with this if it feels better for you. I really want to credit one of my beautiful spiritual teachers, Simone Matthews, who created this particular design. And I felt like it really helped me learn the dimensions of consciousness in a really simple way. And so if this is you, and if this is all of us, then the truth is that you are a multi-dimensional being. And each dimension of your own consciousness is encoded with a different frequency of light, which is a different frequency of information. Yes, we all have this physical body and a linear rational mind, which is the 3D, a third dimension of consciousness. But as we all know in this community, that we are so much more than our physical body and our rational mind. And the reality that we exist inside of is also very multidimensional. This, unfortunately, is never taught especially in my culture, in my Western culture. It's definitely never taught in schools. It's not something that's spoken about very much in families, or else, although it definitely is in my family with my children. But we're not brought up to have a real understanding that we have so much more to us than our physical bodies and the rational mind, and the linear rational mind that makes sense in our outer world. So it's the level of consciousness that you are embodied in that creates the reality that you live in. So we are all of these levels of consciousness. It's up to us to keep going in deeper and deeper into our meditation practice to access these deeper levels of consciousness within us and be the vibration of that consciousness for that to become our reality. As we go higher / deeper, because it's not linear like a ladder, like it's drawn in this picture, this is so multidimensional. So as we go higher up, but also deeper into ourselves, the information, our reality becomes a lot more refined and pure and coherent and integrated. We become so much more aligned and in tune to unconditional love. And the higher in consciousness we go, the deeper we go within ourselves, we discover our deeper truth, which is our eternal nature. So when we stay in the 3D or those lower vibrations of consciousness, we're really stuck in the illusion of separation. And the more that we raise our consciousness, we move into the truth of unity. And so I actually have a whole teaching on this on my website on the last page of this presentation. If you're interested to learn a little bit more from an understanding with the mind, it's a free class, and I would love to offer it to you if that resonates. I thought for today, instead of going into the teachings and talking about it in a more rational way, we can experience it, because I really believe that true understanding comes from experience. So let us do that. And I feel like Kalpana's beautiful meditation has prepared us so beautifully as well. So if it feels good for you, if you're in a safe environment, then you can once again close down your eyes. If the graphic is helpful for you as a visual representation, then you can obviously use that as well. But over the next few breaths, I would love to invite you to come into contact with your physical body. You can outline the physical space that you take up in your environment. You can touch yourself, the palms to your thighs or your stomach. Come into contact with the physical part of you. This is your third dimension of consciousness. And come into contact with that rational understanding that you exist in this one place where you are inside of your environment, and you're connected to your environment through physical contact, through the seat, the chair, the floor. And so it's in the 3D that separation is our reality. I am inside of my body, and the boundary is my skin, and you are inside of your body, and we are separate. I don't really impact you unless I'm physically touching you or in your life some way, and you don't physically impact me when we're operating at the third dimension of consciousness. This is the level of consciousness of polarities, because we also get to enjoy beautiful pleasures inside of our body. We get to taste beautiful food and drink beautiful drinks. We get to hold a newborn. We get to rub the hand of our grandma. We get to feel different textures. We get to be in nature. We get to use all of our senses to connect to the world around us. And so there's so much beauty, and it's such a gift to be able to have this experience inside of a human body. We can't do this anywhere else in the cosmos, but right here, and we get this gift to experience it. And so now let's do a little experiment, and I invite you to do this with a really playful, curious energy. I want you to practice or experience what it feels like to go from the physical body, from this dense human body that you have, and shift your awareness into your heart. And you can use your breath to guide you into your heart. And just notice here the difference in vibration when you're connected to your body, your mind, your 3D, your physicality, And how does it feel for you? Because it will feel different for all of us. How does it feel for you to then connect to your heart and be in a different state of consciousness when you are connected to your heart energy, our fourth dimension of consciousness? And I'd love to go into all the dimensions of consciousness, because I think it's fun and exciting and beautiful, but we don't have time for all of that today. So we're just going to use the heart space. The heart space is the doorway into the fifth dimension of consciousness, which is the beginning of the quantum realm of reality. And so through your heart, I want you to, and it depends what is going to work for you. You can move up. So you can imagine your awareness moving up through your body, out through the crown of your head, and you find your soul star chakra, which is a few feet above the crown of the head. And you might just feel a sweet spot of energy there where you just feel the vibration. Or you might want to go deeper and just ask your body to show you what your fifth dimension of consciousness feels like for you in the body. And so just play with this, be creative, be playful, be curious. Any information, anything that happens is valid and is golden information for you. And so what does the fifth vibration of consciousness feel like? This is the place that is encoded with our personal soul's purpose. And so the information here in our soul star chakra, in our own fifth dimension of consciousness, we have all of the information about our own personal purpose. The reason why we're here for our own evolution. How does this vibration feel different than the heart space or different from the 3D realm? How does your breath breathe differently? How does your posture transition? I wonder if you can notice the quality of your thoughts, if they've changed at all. If there's a different feeling in your body. And over the next few breaths, I'm going to guide you even deeper into yourself again with curiosity, with compassion, with a childlike wonder. We're going to move through the sixth dimension, which is your perfected template of your divine feminine consciousness, through the seventh dimension, which is your perfected template of your divine masculine consciousness, and into your eighth dimension, your own consciousness that vibrates at the eighth dimension of consciousness. Again, you might go deeper into yourself to find this vibration, or in terms of a location in our galaxy, this particular chakra, your chakra, which is called the cosmic gateway chakra, is located in the center of our Milky Way galaxy. And so you might like to go up and imagine being in that void space within the spiraling arms of our galaxy and feel the vibration here, the truth of who you are at this level of your own being. And just really acknowledging your personal experience in this moment. Whatever it is welcome and valid and safe to feel. When I guide people into this place within themselves, they often just have tears streaming down their face, and they've never felt more at home than in this place within themselves. And so I hope that your experience is something like that. And so as you can stay here in this eighth dimension, as you listen to this next part, you can stay in this eighth dimension for the whole day if you like. But this eighth dimension aspect of ourselves, I believe on a collective level, is really a new doorway for us that is opening up, a new place where we can access within ourselves to really receive our higher purpose. If our soul star purpose holds the information of our personal purpose for our personal evolution as a soul here on the earth, then our cosmic gateway chakra, our eighth dimensional consciousness, holds the information of why you are here, not only for you, not only for the earth's evolution, but also for your ancestry, your family lineage, the hearts of humanity, and the greater cosmic story that we are all a part of. And this is where I believe when we can access this part of ourselves and embody it and be the vibration of this level of consciousness in our day-to-day human, messy, mundane lives, we have the deepest sense of purpose and fulfillment. We know that we are contributing our purpose just by being here, just by living our life in all of the light, in all of the shadow of our humanity. And so the rest of my talk, the information that I'm going to share, is really coming from this level of consciousness. I'm going to be talking a lot about what soul embodiment and soul purpose embodiment is. And I believe it is from this location within ourselves. So as we continue on, you can stay in your inner space if that just feels beautiful for you, or if it feels better, you can open your eyes and come back into the space as we keep just moving through these definitions. So soul purpose embodiment is not what you do and who you are at a level of your human identity. Soul purpose embodiment is being the vibration of your purpose from that 8D self that we just experienced. It's being the truth of who you are, your eternal nature. I work with a lot of people who really know their inner gifts and their deeper soul's mission wants to be expressed through a soul-led business. And that's how I help people in my work. And so my definition around soul purpose embodiment in that space is your soul purpose embodiment is the embodiment of your purpose as a state of being where you can confidently share that truth with others who need it and receive abundantly for the work that you are here to do. This process is an initiation, and it is initiation after initiation after initiation. As we all know on the spiritual path, we don't just have one initiation, we have many, many doorways that we need to walk through again and again, never-ending doorways. And these doorways intentionally take us into our greatest multidimensional shadow to be able to embody this level of light that we hold within ourselves. Which takes me to the definition of shadow work. So Rumi said, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. And I'm so grateful for all of Rumi's beautiful words, but this quote in particular, because I feel like it really describes the work that I do. And so I can't see my top of the screen. I hope you can because the pictures are there, but multi-dimensional shadow. Oh, actually, I think it's my next one. Yes, sorry, it wasn't there. So shadow work. I define shadow work as anything that is not the truth of who you are, your eternal nature. And it is buried deep within your unconscious mind and your unconscious body. So on the mental level, it presents as thoughts like, I can't do this. I'm not good enough. I'll never be able to do that. They can do it, but I can't, all of those types of thoughts. On the emotional level, we have feelings of anxiety, depression, overwhelm, guilt and shame, regret. On the behavioral level, we have habits and addictions that we participate in or behaviors that we choose not to do that could be really good for us. And we may self-sabotage ourselves in that way. And on a situational level, shadow work can present as in accidents, illnesses, relationship patterns that keep presenting themselves even with different people, even our bank balance. If we are struggling with our bank balance and we don't feel like we have enough money in our lives to support the lifestyle we truly desire, this is a shadow work that we hold within ourselves, a shadow. And so this is all I guess, the surface level. It's what we see, what we feel, and what we experience in our day-to-day life. But what is happening beyond this surface? What is happening at the root of what we experience? I believe that all that energy comes before matter. So everything that we experience the surface level or in our human experience, it is rooted in an energetic pattern within our light bodies. And so when we become really courageous, and it does take a lot of courage to step into the realm of multidimensional shadow work, we are going into the root of these patterns or these feelings or these thoughts that are really keeping us stuck and blocked from the truth of who we are. So these patterns can be rooted in your inner child self. And so patterns that happen to you in childhood that are still active and alive in your energy field that are impacting how you perceive yourself and perceive the world and govern what you think you're worthy of and what you think you're capable of, as well as inner adolescent. The root of what you experience now in terms of a shadow in your life, a block in your life, may stem from your parents and their belief systems, how they raised you, the messages they gave you, as well as your family lineage. It's also connected to your ancestors. So I work with a lot of my clients will go into their ancestors, and they may have passed away even hundreds of years ago. But if the energy is still active and it is still impacting us, and we hold our ancestors within our energy field, we hold their energy within us. We have access to their light and their gifts and their strengths and the wisdom they cultivated over their lifetimes. But we also are holding for them their pain and their trauma and the parts of themselves that weren't able to be integrated in their lifetimes. And that is such an honor and also a real responsibility that I think collectively I would love to see us wake up to a little bit more, that we have the responsibility to do this healing for our ancestors, to set them free, to set humanity free, but also it gives us a profound sense of spaciousness and joy when we're able to send that healing to them. It also plays out in our past life self and our soul timeline. So our lives between lives, when we weren't even here as a human being, we might have been in other places and other dimensions as a soul, and we hold traumas and restrictions from that place. Future timelines is like a whole other probably presentation. But we, in the quantum realm, past, present, and future is all happening in the now moment. And so through the now moment, through the doorway of our heart, through this quantum realm within ourselves, we are able to access everything and bring healing and freedom and spaciousness to everything. I put the dark night of the soul there because it's another common phrase that you might resonate with and you might have been through yourself, but a dark night of the soul. And I know for me, sometimes I'll be living like a beautiful life. I have a beautiful husband, a beautiful family, but when my soul is ready for her next evolution, I will be pulled down into the depths of myself, into the depths of pain that I didn't even know was there. And my job and what I teach in multidimensional shadow work is really how to masterfully navigate that journey. So a super quick history, in a very quick, brief way of how we have dealt with our stuff in the past. And this actually is not even that long ago, and I'm sure everyone can relate to this in some way. So this was it, this first point here, like we just suck it up and we get on with it. And this was definitely my parents' generation. And my dad still says these words like with confidence and passion, you just suck it up and you get on with it. And so that's how on a collective level we used to deal with our stuff. Then, thank goodness, psychology came really mainstream, and we all of a sudden realized that our thoughts impact how we feel and the actions we take. And so we were going into our mind and we were going into, we're exploring that collectively, which was really exciting. And obviously mindfulness and meditation stemmed from that. Then we went even deeper into ourselves, and as a collective, it started to become normal that mind, body, spirit connection is a thing that all of these things work together, and even the food that we eat can actually really impact how we feel and our the quality of our thoughts, whether we think positively or negatively, can be impacted by our food, our exercise, lots of other things. And then, so excitingly, like crazily exciting, when somatic healing, even more recently, became a lot more well-known in these spaces. So using breath work and movement and sound to go into the traumas that are held within the body and shift them so much more quickly, obviously a lot more quickly than just suck it up and get on with it, which didn't really shift anything at all. But we really quantum leaped our healing and our ability to move through deep pain and trauma when we went from the psychology and just working through it with the mind and talk therapy into the body and into the somatic experience. How exciting that we have access to these events online, and that I feel like in definitely my area, in every suburb, there's classes that we can go to most nights of the week where we can experience this type of healing as a community. And so each step was a quantum leap in healing and the process of upgrading our consciousness. And my throat's getting a bit dry from so much talking. So I believe a whole new doorway is opening up for us collectively. It's opening up for us from the deepest truth of who we are, because we are not our thoughts, we are not our emotions, we're not our choices. We are consciousness, which is non-linear and is multidimensional. And so I call this process quantum embodiment. I believe the next wave of our evolution and our next wave of mastery, where we can be healing not only ourselves individually, but also the planet, each other, and the multidimensional world that we live inside of, through the process of raising our consciousness, which is this intelligent dance of light language in accessing and awakening the truth of who we are, light activation, and multidimensional shadow work. And like I said, the power of this process, it is just not about us anymore. We are in service. I loved how Kapana, that your words at the end, like, just be in service, like the gift that you have to give, share that, because we actually have no rational understanding. We'll never know how much light we spread by just sharing the truth of who we are and who it impacts and on what level it impacts them. And so it does impact all of those things listed there: the hearts of humanity, the earth, our ancestors are set free, our children and the future generations, past life versions of our future timelines, and the greater cosmic story that we are all a part of. And so let's just take a breath, because I feel like that's a lot of information, and I want to just give you some time to integrate that and to process that with your existing framework of your understanding of yourself at this level, and really give you a chance to make this personal for you. Beautiful. And so if your soul purpose is not embodied, this is just some of the probably billions of things that you could experience. But I just drew from some of the main things from my own life and from the people that I work with. So a deep fear of being seen and heard. This is obviously fear of being seen and heard by other people, but even deeper than that, I think we genuinely have a deep fear of seeing ourselves in our greatest light. Seeing the truth of who we are can be so overwhelming when we meet that part of ourselves. We might have a real lack of clarity, like, I would do the thing that I'm here to do if I just knew what that was. So that's that's shadow work in itself, like not being able to have the clarity of what is innately inside of you. Fear of being judged. I break self-sabotage into two aspects: conscious self-sabotage, when we know that we're doing things, when we're aware of what we're doing that are self-sabotaging us. I do that every single day. And I also every single day do things on a deep unconscious level that I don't find out sometimes till months later, that I've made a big mistake, or I'm doing something in my life that I just don't have the conscious awareness to see it from a higher perspective yet. And so I do a lot of things unconsciously to self-sabotage me. Our relationship with money can feel really toxic and inconsistent, harmful, or shameful when our soul purpose is not embodied. We may have a lack of trust in ourselves, we might have a lack of trust in timing and in our own soul work, our own soul purpose, and we might be really easily swayed by the emotions and the waves of life. We can have a real block in manifestation. So we have the vision, we have the feeling inside of our body, we cultivate this inner knowing and inner truth, but we can't quite take that next step where we create that physical representation in our outer reality. And I remember for such a long time, I was in a lot of inner pain because I had this beautiful ecosystem, this beautiful landscape, this beautiful truth inside of me, but there was this gap on the outside of me. And so that gap was a real pain that I feel like we're here to experience our purpose in physical reality. Otherwise, we could just be rocking out as a spirit for this lifetime, but we're here to bring it into physical form. And what I think is the most painful of all is a soul level sense of unfulfillment and frustration. So when our soul purpose is embodied, I will kind of just read through some of these briefly. And again, I invite you to feel this in your body and not just take it on with the mind. And so feel what it feels like to have a sense of safety in your body, to have a deep confidence in who you are and how vital you are in this world, even in your complete, messy, chaotic human moments. When your soul purpose is embodied, you feel at home wherever you go and whoever you are with. Life has a simplicity, a flow, and an ease to it. You're able to speak your truth. For so long, I just felt like I had such a block around having all of these belief systems and experience that I've had in my inner world and just not knowing how or not feeling safe enough to express that. Your intuition becomes really advanced. You absolutely access a deeper sense of self-love and you trust yourself. Your relationships improve. You master manifestation. So you know exactly the process when you have the vision, when you get that information from your 8th dimensional self and that little drop of information drops into you and you're like, oh my God, this is part of the reason why I'm here. You know how to masterfully bring that into your physical reality. Oh, which is so joyful for yourself and then for others to be able to receive it. And then the process of giving and receiving that comes from that place. So you'll make money more consistently and sustainably because you'll be aligned to the strategy that is suited to your unique blueprint of work, of money, of time, of all of those things. Everything becomes aligned. You become magnetic. So your electromagnetic field is at a vibration where you magnetize opportunities and things to you. You have a sense of spiritual fulfillment and a greater impact, true abundance and freedom. And I added this last part last week when I had a really beautiful conversation with a woman named Jody. And she said to me, I have the most beautiful life. I have a beautiful partner, beautiful kids. I love where I live. But if I was on my deathbed and someone said to me, did you do what you came here to do? She said her answer would be no. And that felt like such a heartbreaking moment and a realization for her, and heartbreaking for me to witness that she knows she has these deeper intentions and deeper purpose to be here, but she wasn't able to fulfill that yet because she had so much fear around it. In saying all of that, this all sounds like a beautiful, perfect life, but the real truth is, and as we all know, because we're all on this conscious path of evolution, that we absolutely have our crappy days. We absolutely have the days where we just feel terrible and things don't work out and we don't get the thing and we have the disappointment. But when we are embodied in our purpose, we are looking at it from a higher perspective. We know that it's just the wave of life and we can move through it with ease. We can even train ourselves to really move through it with a sense of pleasure and joy, even in the really crappy parts of being human. So when I met the Council of Light, they showed me that we are all here for a multidimensional purpose. And what we do here inside of our bodies, inside of our human lives, the vibration that we're able to be while we're here matters at a cosmic level. And when we are embodied from this place, we have a deeper sense of fulfillment, and that's where we access true abundance. So like I said at the start, you would think that after having this experience, being shown my soul purpose, having all these puzzle pieces put together, that I would just be set, that I'd be off chatting like I'm chatting now, passionate about it, confident about it. I was not. That experience that happened in 2020 absolutely was my initiation into shadow work. And it was 3 years for me personally in multi-dimensional shadow work, sharing a little bit, putting a little bit out there, and then pretty much falling into a complete mess because my nervous system did not feel safe to teach and share these themes and topics that I knew I was here to share. I was absolutely drowning in self-doubt, in fear, and deep unworthiness, an unworthiness to share this work, even an unworthiness in my home life, in being a mum, this, on a rational level, I am an awesome mum. My kids love me. We have a beautiful relationship, but I was just swamped by this unworthiness to even be their mother. Like the shadow work took me into some really deep and dark places. And it often just felt so disproportionate to my physical reality. Like I said, it's like it made no rational sense why I was feeling what I was feeling when my outer life was actually beautiful. I later realized, because we never get to really know in the moment of the shadow work. It's often afterwards where we can reflect and look back. What I realized through these years of just being taken into these very painful parts of myself, part of our collective consciousness, what it was that my body was actually learning how to process the shadow work on a multidimensional level. So I was processing pain of my ancestors, I was processing pain of the earth, I was processing pain of our collective consciousness, and my initiation was learning how to do that in a masterful way. And so 2022 was definitely the deepest shadow work for me. It's also the year that my higher self, this 8D aspect of myself, was really giving me clear messages that I was here to teach about those higher levels of consciousness and to teach about the cosmic level of our reality. And I remember exactly where I was. I was close to my home. I was walking across the road. I had this information coming into me. And I remember saying to myself, I am happy to just die in this lifetime, not fulfilling this purpose, because the pain of going into the shadow work, of uncovering this part of myself as the teacher of this work, was so painful and so hopeless. I had no belief in myself that I was ever going to do it. And I just resided to the fact that I'll just die in this lifetime and just sort it out. Hopefully I'll be born in the next lifetime into a confident person and I'll be able to do it. Obviously, I figured it out along the way because I'm teaching this now. And I honestly do. And I think this is what comes from, hindsight is such a beautiful thing. I have so much gratitude and reverence for the deep shadow work that I needed to navigate for my journey. And just, there's no words to express the gratitude I have for those times of my life. And whatever it was inside of me, and we all have it inside of us, and I know you've had it as well, those times when we're in such deep, dark places, there's a spark of light, there's something that just helps us keep going even when we're in complete darkness. And so just let's take a breath of gratitude to that part of ourselves that has guided us through some really heavy things in our lives and just helped us keep going when all else felt helpless. So what did I learn? The blueprint of quantum soul embodiment is what I learned for myself, and what I'm able to then, with so much humility and gratitude, hold space for others. It's a pathway to raise our consciousness to a place where we know we are embodied in our higher purpose. And that is the purpose that comes from our 8th dimension. So what is this blueprint? You are the blueprint. You have everything inside of you and your multi-dimensional light body that you need to navigate your life and to fulfill your purpose in this lifetime. And a big part of that is trusting that life is working with you, that life is you, and it's always giving you the next doorway into your next soul's evolution. And so the way that we raise our consciousness and the way that you work with your own blueprint is an intelligent dance between light and shadow work. It's mastering the shadow work so that we're not fearful of it, so that we can actually master it and use it as the doorway for what it is, which is the access point to the more light of who we are. I've got some client examples and I'll go through these quicker than I planned because I just realized the time. So Maria is a beautiful woman. I saw her about 10 years ago while I was working as a kinesiologist, and she was 60 years old at the time. She's a Jewish woman, and she came to see me because she had chosen to get cosmetic surgery. And after the surgery, this weeks and weeks had gone by until she saw me. She was in excruciating pain after the surgery, and she was absolutely convinced that the surgeon had left tools in her face. She thought it was so painful that he must have left metal tools in her face for her to be experiencing the level of pain that she was experiencing. She'd gone back to him several times. He was very confident there was nothing left in her face, and there was also nothing physically wrong to be able to cause this much pain. She'd seen chiropractors and physios and things like that, which actually just made the pain even worse. So she came to me not only just in such a helpless and hopeless state, like she wasn't sleeping with the pain, she couldn't live her life with this pain, but she also had so much shame and blame, self-blame towards herself for choosing to get this cosmetic surgery, and she just felt like she just deserved all of this pain because she had chosen to get cosmetic surgery. When we went into this process, and actually quantum embodiment didn't even exist back then, and so this was like my first journey where it was showing me the potentials of this work before I even knew what it was. When we went into the journey and her body showed us doorway after doorway of where the root of this physical pain that came from a surgical procedure, where the root of it was embedded in her body, and where her body took us, where her energy field took us, was to her father. It was her father was a Holocaust survivor and really brought Maria up in a way that every time she had a pain, a discomfort, she'd fallen and hurt on her knees, a little kid, she was hungry, she was bored, anything that she was feeling, her father, and understandably being through such a horrendous experience himself, her father's response was, "You don't know what pain is. You don't know what hunger is. You don't know what sadness is." And so completely would shut her experience down because it didn't match the level of his experience in his life. He had died about 30 years before we had met. I was working with Maria. And so we were going in through her energy field to meet him at a soul level. And the pain that Maria was feeling physically in her face from the surgery was only a portion of the spiritual pain that her father was still in on a soul level. And so we worked with her father energetically to clear all the shadow that he was still holding as a soul, himself personally, and what he experienced in his lifetime, but also the relationship between the two of them needed to be healed. And in the moment that we set her father free on a soul level from all the fear and shame and the horrendous experiences that he had that he was still holding on to, the pain in her face completely disappeared and it never came back. And so that's just one example of the power of this work, the power of our bodies being able to take us to the exact location, and the power of our multidimensionality and the way that we can access deeper roots of our multidimensional reality that actually are really severely impacting our physical reality. Oh, I'm just checking on the time and we probably won't have time for all of these, so I might just choose one more. I'll choose Sam. So Sam came to me, I worked with Sam last year, and she came to me with deep depression and self-hatred and a deep anxiety. Like, she could not go anywhere without being riddled with anxiety. She couldn't go to her kids' school pickups and drop-offs without just being riddled with anxiety around being around other mums at the school and things like that. And we, so Maria that all happened in like one session. It was quite remarkable. Sometimes it takes a longer time to kind of work through the energy field from a lot of different perspectives, which is what we needed to do with Sam. We had to work with her over a few sessions to kind of build a lot of safety in her body to get to this place that was absolutely the turning point, not only in our sessions together, but in her whole life. And so what we found in around session 5 was that there was a being and a soul who had actually gotten lost on their own journey and was disconnected from the truth of who they were, this being, this entity, and had actually taken up a home in Sam's energy field. It needed Sam to be able to survive. And I believe this actually happened like lifetimes ago. I think this being was with Sam for a really long time. It was lodged or kind of sat in her crown chakra, and it's like it had a straw energetically going down from her crown into her solar plexus, and it was like drinking up Sam's solar plexus energy, which is the energy of self-confidence, self-belief, empowerment, ability to stand in our own truth, to know the truth of who we are. And so this energy in every moment of the day and night was being siphoned from Sam's energy body. So Sam could not know who she was, let alone feel confident in herself, feel like she could achieve her goals, feel like she could be the person that she really came here to be. And so it was at this point where we worked with this energy being, we sent it back to where it helped and guided it back to where it needed to be reconnected with its own energy source and for it to have its next evolution of healing. And so that Sam could be a clear vessel of her own energy and actually receive and embody her own power. That was a massive turning point for her. She actually had been on medication for a really long time for all of her anxiety and depression. She was working with psychologists and psychiatrists for a really long time. And she was able to get off her medication, start the process of getting off her medication. After that session, she was going to school and just not having one little bit of anxiety, just feeling fully embodied in herself. And so another really beautiful example of this work. I had a few more slides, but they're not, I might just quickly, I'll super quickly go through them. So the 3 myths.
Yeah.
Oh, is that okay, Levina? Or do you? I feel like I can bring it to a close now if that is better for.
You can please take your time. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. So 3 myths that stop you from doing this work. And we all have this, and we all have this about everything in our lives. We have self-doubt and the belief that I can't do this. We have the belief that it's too scary. And we have the belief that it's not going to make any real impact on my life and my immediate problems. All of these aspects, all of these voices in ourselves are all part of the conditioning that keeps us stuck in the 3D paradigm, that keeps us believing in the illusion that we are separate and that we do not have access to the most immense light and love and power within us. And so we all can absolutely do this multidimensional work, and we can all do it in a really masterful way. It's the truth of who we are. In terms of it being scary, it absolutely, to our mind and our ego, who likes everything exactly how it is and just likes to keep things, how we've always known them, it absolutely can be scary to that part of ourselves. On a soul level, it is the most exhilarating journey to take, this deeper and deeper aspects of ourselves, both the light and our shadow work. And when we become masterful at it, we also can upgrade our consciousness. So even the ego and the mind and things that like to stay the same, we can navigate that with so much more ease and move through it with gentleness, with grace, with love and compassion for ourselves in a way that we perhaps haven't been able to do in the past. And as you can see from the examples that I just gave, the work we do on the quantum level of our being, the tiny shifts in consciousness that we can make actually have the most profound ripple effect for our lives and our outer world. And so again, this is an illusion of the 3D that we live in, that what I do doesn't matter. The truth of our multidimensional nature is that everything you do or don't do has a profound impact on the collective. And so really empowering ourselves to know that we have the power to create great change in our life and in the lives of others through embodying the truth of who we are. So these are my little tips on where to start if this is completely new for you, or how to go deeper if you are already on this pathway of your inner multidimensional world. And so to master the light and the shadow work within ourselves, 100,000,000%, I want to say that we all need to learn how to cultivate safety in our bodies, in our nervous system, in our energy field. We can't go anywhere, we can't do anything, we can't heal anything if we do not feel safe. And so the core pillar of this whole work is cultivating safety in our body. And that's often the real work that needs to be done. We cultivate safety, and then the next natural evolution is a rise in our own consciousness. And the 3 qualities that I really encourage you to play with, and we played with that curiosity a lot at the start when we were going in and experiencing the different levels of our consciousness, is curiosity, compassion, and commitment. Curiosity just completely disarms us, and it opens us up to experience so much more of what's available to us in every moment. Compassion, I just think, is the key to life and the key to meditation. If we can just be compassionate to our human selves, especially because it's not an easy job being here and navigating this spiritual world as a human. And commitment, part of me hates this word because I think it can sometimes push us to do things we're not ready for and all of those things. But I mean commitment in the way that we are committed to ourselves, we are committed to the present moment, and we are just continually committed to our inner journey. And that can look like deep rest, that can look like falling apart, that can look like the most beautiful embodiment of our own light, being committed to what is present within us in the moment. So thank you so much, everybody, for having me and for sharing this space. I could feel your energy in my heart the whole time, and yeah, I feel like I've just received so much from this community. So thank you so much for co-creating the space with me. As I mentioned throughout the class, if you wanted to go deeper into some of those teachings that I shared, that I didn't get time to go into deeply today, I have a masterclass, and I've created a free link for this community. So if you wanted to go deeper, that is there for you. And if this work resonates, if you just want to have more of a chat about it, I would love to hear from you. If you have an Instagram account, you can see my account there. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm just so grateful. I'll stop sharing my screen, and yeah, I would love to answer any questions.
Yeah, Justine, before that, Hari, thank you so much. So if you can send that QR code offline as well, I'll share with the participants separately, okay?
Okay, yeah, great. I'll do that. Thank you. Thank you. Nice to see you, Hari.
Thank you so much, Justine Shaki. So it's really a wonderful session. And personally, I have learned a lot from your session today, and especially the curiosity part, which is a takeaway for me, like moving from one dimension to other dimension. You made it so easy and to go into that level, and I was able to connect to it. So that was my takeaway, and thank you so much for sharing that wonderful that with us and with our fellow participants. So let's can we go ahead and take some questions? Is it okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
For sharing that, Lavanya.
Apologies, we had few spam this morning, so we had to disable some of the abilities. So people can send questions to Lavanya, so she would be able to ask on your behalf, and if needed, we'll unmute separately. Thanks.
A question from Sai. How to remove blocks in manifestation?
So any block is going to impact our manifestation. And so any block that we're working on is always working with manifestation, as well as healing, as well as expansion, as well as truth embodiment. And so there's many ways we can do it. I feel like if you're new to this work, if you and you can do it in this moment, if you close down your eyes and just to start to scan your energy body, you'll find places of light and expansion. You'll find places of restriction. You'll find places that you can't even kind of get into because you're just disconnected from that part of yourself, and that's all good. It's part of the journey. But when you find a pain, a restriction, a tightness or holding, I believe the most powerful way that we can remove blocks is to simply bring our awareness to it, witness it, hold a space for it, send a message like, I love you so much. I am here for you. I know I haven't listened to you in the past, and I know I haven't acknowledged you in the past, but I'm listening now. I am here for you now. And just let that block, let that energy, let that pain or that fear be exactly who it is in this moment without any need to change who it is. Let it be witness, let it communicate with you, give it space to breathe and just be with it. And I believe, and in my own experience, and obviously this can take a lot of practice as well. Like if this is a whole new world for you, this will take practice to fine tune your awareness, to stay there long enough and to even find it yourself. But over time, you'll build a capacity, you'll build safety in your body. Your body will trust you, you will trust your body, and you'll just be able to hold space for these shadow aspects of yourself. And it's through the witnessing that the shadow dissolves, it transmutes. You'll get information from it that maybe you need to go and say sorry to somebody. Maybe you need to go and move your body in a different way it's feeling intuitively like it needs to move. You might need to go swim in the ocean. Whatever it is, you'll get the information from the block itself. The block is full of wisdom, and it is honestly there to help you evolve your consciousness. And so just changing your relationship to it, going in with curiosity, like, I wonder what I can find in myself today. I wonder how compassionate I can be inside of myself as I navigate new parts of me. I hope that answers the question.
Yes. Hope it answers your question, Sai. Let me know if you have any other questions. So thanks, Justine, for your explanation. Moving on to next question is from Suresh. How to go deeper and identify our soul purpose? There is one more question. How to release, I think this is just answered, how to release blocks to touch the 8th dimension and clear ancestry related.
Beautiful. So sorry, could you just repeat that first?
How to go deeper and identify our soul purpose.
Yes. So as we all know, through meditation, through an inward journey is the most profound way to discover the truth of who we are and what we're here for. We're never going to read it in a book. It's never going to be published somewhere else. All of the information, and books can obviously help us and guide us and hold space for us to get information. But I believe the most masterful way to access the pure information that we hold within ourselves is to cultivate a meditation practice. And so going in, you can even use that graphic of the dimensions of consciousness if it resonated for you, and just travel, put your awareness into the soul star chakra, practice. What does it feel like being there? And when you're there and when you get better and better at being there for longer amounts of time, when you're ready for the next piece of information, it will come to you, and you can journal as you're doing those practices, but all of the information is inside of you. And so turning your awareness within and traveling into those places within yourself, so that 8D, you could just either find the vibration in yourself like we did in the short practice, or go into that void space of the Milky Way galaxy where your cosmic chakra is located, and just sit there and be curious there and absorb. Just being there, you're already absorbing the information, even on an unconscious level. So yeah, I hope that answers that question. And obviously, if you resonate with me, like, this is what I do with my clients. I hold space for them. I help to guide them into these aspects of themselves. I see the shadows, I see the light, I see the timelines. I'm gifted with that level of intuition. And so it's the most beautiful honor to be able to hold space for my clients. But I guess I'm answering these questions. If you were just going to do it on your own and cultivate this practice, it's all through meditation and journaling.
Great. Thanks, Justine. So through meditation and journaling is the main key points here. Thank you. Next is Swati. So she's asking how to identify patterns and what are the ways to break our patterns? Some techniques if you can suggest.
Beautiful. So the body and our life will always be the first doorway that there's a block or a pattern. So we might have an injury. So I've got a stress fracture in my lower spine, and that is a never-ending doorway for me to navigate different levels of shadow. And there's been, I've found within that one injury that happened when I was about 13, through that one injury, I can go into that injury, into that pain, and there's a never-ending source of shadow working there for me. So sometimes I'm working on a lineage, sometimes I'm working on my own belief systems, sometimes I'm working on other aspects of myself and my ego that are like really attached to things that I don't want to let go of, and that's when my back will get sore. So we can use physical pain in the body will always be a doorway into shadow. Like, what is the body trying to show us? That's the deeper patterns that are there to be healed. It can also be external situations. So we might always end up in like the same fight with our partner or one of our children, and it's always triggering that response in us. And so we can get really curious, like, what is this relationship showing me and reflecting back to me that's showing me that I have something inside of myself that needs healing, that needs release. Things like our bank balance, if you're constantly like just living week to week or always just under what you need, or borrowing money and, you know, that robbing Peter to pay Paul, whatever your patterns are with money can be a huge insight into what some of the deeper shadow work is. So starting with what's annoying you, what's frustrating you, what are the pain points of your human life, both physically or situationally, and then using that as the doorway to walk through and go, what's the deeper layers of consciousness that are restricted here through this doorway? Would you mind repeating this question? Because I feel like there was two parts of it, and I just want to make sure I've repeated the question.
So
Thanks.
what are the ways to break our patterns? Some techniques
Yes.
you can suggest. Yeah.
So I guess if I'm answering the question of how you would do it on your own, just being really present with the pattern, being loving and compassionate, like the answer I gave before, would be the best way that you would do it on your own. Journaling is really helpful for me because sometimes I can't quite piece the information in my head and it keeps me focused. Sometimes my mind will go off, you know, on tangents and I'll have to pull myself back to the shadow. But if I'm journaling, I can stay present with it for longer. Inside of my client sessions, there is just absolute limitless ways in the ways that we help and heal the shadows. So from using affirmations to sound to breath work to presence to needing to put it somewhere else, needing to activate a particular light energy that just moves through the shadow naturally. Yeah, it's limitless to how we can do it. So again, being curious, like, what could I create in this moment? What could I do with this particular block to help it heal? And so it just becomes just the funnest process, I think. Better than TV. It's better than Netflix.
Yes. Thank you. So the next question is from Sandeep. Thanks for sharing the great content, ma'am. Would the soul still carry trauma and pain even after death? Can you please explain?
Yeah, so I think, and everyone will have really different views on this and belief systems around this. And so I really want to honor everybody's belief system. And one of my, favorite spiritual practices is creating the energy within myself that I know nothing and that everything that I believe is an illusion, to try to detach myself from what I think is true. But based on my experience, and I definitely think in my early days of spirituality and especially in the healing modalities, I used to just have a belief that the soul is just pure and that once the body goes, the soul is enlightened, and it moves on, and there's just a purity to it. And what I've learned through my own experience and working with so many people is that our soul and our energy body really does hold patterns of energy lifetime to lifetime or experience to experience. And if those energy patterns are not healed and released, either in this lifetime or wherever else we have been, if the energy patterns aren't healed and released or brought into a place of completion, that energy will stay active and alive incarnation after incarnation after incarnation, whether you're a human or whether you're someone else. And I've worked with a lot of my clients actually in some point of the journey. And I actually believe a lot of my clients come to me because their deceased ancestors have brought them to me because they need the healing. At some point in the journey, we will help their ancestors who have passed away, either their parent who's passed away just a couple of years ago or a further back ancestor. We will help their ancestors who are stuck in trauma after death, and on a soul level be creating healing and release, and bringing that soul into a place of peace and completion. That's my opinion based on my experience, but I really want to honor everyone's individual belief system in that because it's such a personal thing.
Onto this, the follow-up question is like how to release, the ancestors' pain from the body.
Yeah. And so there isn't necessarily a different way that you would work with an ancestor, or there's a different way that you would work with a past life version of yourself, or a different way that you would work with your inner child. You just stay with the energy that's present within the body. And so a lot of the time, and this is true for me, I might be working on a pattern within myself, and I have no clue, like if this is an ancestor or a past life or whatever it is. I just stay with the energy and I just hold a space for the energy in the present moment. There's often not really a need to go back into the story or to find out exactly what it is. The body is always showing you what the energy restriction is in the present moment. And if you can be present with that now, that it's, we all know it's in the present moment where that's the only place where healing can happen. So it's cool to know, and sometimes it will just come and we'll just have an intuitive sense that we might be working with an ancestor or a past life version of ourselves, but we definitely don't need to know. It's just all about being present with the energy. Great questions.
Thank you. The next question is from Swati. How to use sound energy to raise consciousness?
So sound energy creates a frequency, a vibration. Say, for example, we're playing a singing bowl, a crystal singing bowl, and that crystal singing bowl is vibrationally attuned to a particular resonance. So it has a particular vibrational frequency state. When that is played in our energy field, just say I have a pattern here and a fear of being seen, a fear of doing this talk on this Zoom call, and there's a pattern that's living here that's like a block in my energy field, and no matter how much I want to share, no matter how much I believe in what I'm doing, this block here is just making me so nervous, so fearful about being seen that I just won't do it. I'll say, when Hari asked me, I would say, no, sorry, I'm busy, because this block is making me say no. If we found a singing bowl that is like the medicine for this particular block, we play the singing bowl inside of the energy field, and then the vibrations of that singing bowl move into the block and start to dismantle the block. Ideally, if it's the exact right medicine, that one singing bowl can release that whole block, and the block, moves away, and that part of my energy field is now open. So when Hari says to me, hey, Justine, do you want to do this talk? I say, yes, I would love to do the talk, because that fear in my energy field has gone. I hope those hand gestures helped with understanding that concept.
I realize the importance of sound energy now.
It's powerful. It's so powerful. My God.
We have a couple more questions. Is it okay?
Yeah, of course. As long as it's okay time-wise for you guys. I'm sorry I went a little bit over.
Thank you. how do we cultivate safety in body, nervous system, and energy body?
Oh my God, this is such a beautiful, beautiful question and so important. So again, like there is limitless answers to this question, but I'll share a few that I feel like I use that have really helped me. So breath, and it's, perfect answer for this community. Our breath is probably the most profound way to cultivate safety in our body. So, and different breaths cultivate different feelings in the body. The breath practice that I use to cultivate safety in my body and throughout, say, if I'm working with a client, I'm constantly bringing them back to this breath so that they're integrating and feeling safe at every step that we're taking along the journey. And that breath is a really gentle, a really simple breath, a gentle breath in through the nose and out through the nose. And with the intention of not pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and kind of doing any sort of big breaths that feel hard to hold. The intention is to smooth out the breath and to make it really like silky and rhythmic. And that particular breath is sending a message to your nervous system that you are safe. And so, for example, like when I do any talk, definitely before I get on the call, I'm really nervous. Like I have a sick feeling in my stomach. And so in the hour that I was sort of preparing my space and getting ready for the talk, and I had that nervous feeling of like, oh, I just hate this feeling, I was consciously bringing that breath into my body while saying to myself, like telling that feeling in my stomach, you are safe. You are safe now. You are safe now. Because there's been times in my life where I haven't been safe to share this, but I'm consciously breathing and sending that message of safety into the body. And that's, that's a daily practice, and you could do that 100 times a day. Like it's never ending.
Yes, that's a useful a tip for us. So we can always use our breath to send that safety message. Thank you for that tip. A question from Madhu. Can meditation clear the blocks?
Absolutely. Yeah. So meditation, definitely. And yeah, so there's probably lots of meditations that you could use to clear it up. And there's probably a lot of guided meditations as well that you could use to clear the blocks. Our conscious awareness on the block, our present loving, unconditional loving awareness, witnessing a block is the most profound practice. And really acknowledging that takes a long time to really master. And so if it feels clunky at the start, if you don't feel like you understand it at the start, or if it's not making sense, then that's really normal process. But yeah, meditation, conscious awareness, breath, if you're doing a self practice, would be the keys.
Thank you. Next question is from Jyoti. Any easy way to protect energy when we go in crowd or mingle with people of different energy levels? Can we use any kind of affirmations for that?
Absolutely. And so as our consciousness naturally evolves, we naturally become stronger and stronger. I remember when I was really, new to this work, and I had to really consciously work hard to protect my energy field. I had to, I'd use things like incense or smudge sticks to clear it. I would clear the space. Obviously, if you're in public spaces, you probably can't go around with incense. But if I was, using a space for my work, I would do a lot of work to clear it. I would call in the light. Affirmations are beautiful. Even just instructing your body and energy body to just like be protective, like hold me safely, shield any energies. Really working with the solar plexus chakra is the chakra that really governs our whole energy field, sort of like our gatekeeper of our heart space and our energy field. So getting a really strong solar plexus is absolutely key in being able to protect our energy field. As we naturally just evolve in consciousness, those safety structures are just there 24/7 without us even really needing to consciously work on it. So as I've evolved, I don't need to consciously protect myself in different spaces, because I just know I am safety. I am light. I am protection. Like there's nothing can I can't come into contact with anything that will take me away from the truth of who I am. And if I do, it's actually just a doorway into the deeper truth. And so, yeah, not that I would just recommend like playing with different energies if you're new to this, but like I welcome in shadow now. I like wholeheartedly welcome it in. And if I meet someone that I feel like a funky energy with, I get really curious around what is this? And I go into that, but that's probably a whole nother story. But if you're starting out, use your own intuition. Like, what does your energy body need to feel safe? And play with it. Be curious. Practice a few things and see what works for you, because probably what's going to work for one person is going to be really different to another person. And what's going to work in one environment is going to be different to what is needed in the next. So again, coming back to one of those qualities of being present, committed to the present moment. What's needed in this moment, in this situation of who I am today? What do I need?
Okay.
I
Thank
don't know
you.
if I'm making it more complicated with these answers.
It was beautiful. Today there are a lot of questions which are pouring in. Is it okay to take another couple more?
Absolutely. As long as it's okay for you guys, I'm all good.
I think
We,
everyone
we, are,
connected.
we are all okay as far as you are okay for another 15, 20 minutes.
Thank
Justin,
you. Thank you for asking so many questions.
that shows that how effective your talk is.
Oh,
I am getting offline messages already. Thank you so
wow.
much. Really good.
Oh, my
Okay.
goodness. Thank you, everybody. It was, I
Going
felt
on.
everyone's heart. Oh, I'm going to cry.
A question from SE. In one part of what you mentioned is to look in shadows. That is life when we are going downs like anxiety, depression, low in financial, or to find your life purpose. I might have got it wrong. Can that be elaborated? I understand it's not straightforward. Just want to know a little more. I'm curious about it.
Yes, I hope I'm interpreting this question correctly, and let me know if I've kind of gone off on a different track. But every single thing that is not our true nature, so everything that is not the truth of who we are, that is not love, joy, peace, unity, forgiveness, compassion, everything that's not that, and I don't want to sound like really morbid and awful, but everything that's not the truth of who we are is a shadow. So if I'm feeling anxiety, even though what I might be feeling anxiety about doing a presentation, it's understandable that I would feel anxious about that. That's a normal response to just something that we do. We feel anxious about something new. The anxiety is a shadow. So there's a deeper reason why I'm feeling nervous about coming and talking, because deep down, I either don't feel safe to be seen. I don't trust myself fully that I can articulate my message. I'm nervous that I'm not going to be able to like figure out the tech, or I'll be asked a question that I can't answer. Like that's the shadow. So the anxiety is really, showing us like, what is that anxiety for me? What's my belief system, my thought? And then so I might go, okay, I'm feeling really anxious about this talk. I feel like I'm not good enough and that people are going to judge me because I'm not essentially good enough. Then where does that not good enough come from? And if we start to go down, 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 we might come to the place where my mum was brought up in a way where in her life, she just was never shown that she was good enough. She was always reprimanded. Her parents were really strict. She made choices in her life that led to different outcomes that just kept giving her the feedback that she's not good enough. Then she brings me up, and whenever I try to shine my light, she kind of like, oh, that's not really safe. So she pushes me down a little bit, and she's like, oh, these really subtle signals throughout my life that's like, no, you can't do that. You can't speak up. You can't shine bright. And so I internalize that. So then when I give her a talk and I've got this anxiety, it's actually stemming from my mum's experience when she was young, and then the way that she brought me up. So everything that's not light, love, peace, joy, truth is a shadow that we can use as a doorway to go deeper into ourselves. Did that answer the question?
Yes, definitely. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm getting a lot of clarity about our thoughts and about the anxiety or what are the emotions. So
Yes.
thank you, Justine.
Oh, my
The
pleasure.
next question is from Sunita. When we go to fifth and eighth dimension, notice there is a slowness in our breath. Can you explain about it, please?
Beautiful. So so when we go into each dimension of consciousness, our body becomes that vibrational state. And so I presume you're meaning a slowness in breath as a good thing. So when we access these different parts of ourselves and our identity, who we are on these levels, and we embody it into the body, we become that vibration. So our breath will absolutely change. And this is also, it works the other way when you're wondering, am I in the right place? If you're exploring these different aspects of yourself, you know you're in the right place when you just feel good. Like the eighth dimension should feel like your soul home. It should feel like this place where you are connected to everything. And if you're breathing slowly and if you're feeling a sense of peace, connection, deeper purpose, then you know you're in the right place. And it's also the impact of being that vibration. And then the real work begins. We can do that for 30 seconds, a minute in our meditation, but can we do it enough where our nervous system and our light body learn to vibrate at that frequency every single moment of the day? Like that's, I guess, the enlightenment, where we embody our light and we become that as our identity, and we actually don't know any different. We've forgotten what it feels like to only know the 3D, to only know the physical body and the belief in separation from each other. We can't, once we embody those high states of consciousness and become it, we can't unknow that. I will never ever believe that like we are separate or that I'm separate from you now. I can't, like it's not my reality, because I've been embodying these high states of my own consciousness now and still practicing being that in every moment. So I love that you had a slower breath. Beautiful.
Thank you, Justine. And there are a few requests from our friends that they're all connected to the way you did. You guided our meditation to where you took us to different dimensions. So they're asking, depending upon your bandwidth of the time, if you can guide us once more meditation, if you have time, please.
That's beautiful. I would be honored. Oh my God. Thank you, everybody. This is so beautiful. Are we ready for a meditation now?
Yes, we are.
And
Thank you so
how,
much
do you just
for
give me a
taking on.
time?
However you feel comfortable.
Or just to work in with the next speaker?
10 to 15 minutes is fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. So 15 minutes max. Does that work for the schedule?
Yes.
Yes, 15 minutes max.
Okay. And is everyone keen to go back into the eighth? Is that what the request is? We want to go to the eighth?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
everywhere.
Yeah. However
Okay.
you feel like, whichever we are all curious to unlock our energies into the different dimensions.
Oh my God. I love you guys so much. So much fun. All right. We'll see where we go. So if it is safe for you in this moment, you can gently close down your eyes. And as you do, make this conscious transition from your outer world, looking at the computer, being in your environment, to the magic of your inner world. And as you close down your eyes, finding your breath in this moment. Your beautiful, beautiful breath. Noticing in this moment the quality of your breath. Notice the places of expansion and light and freedom of the breath. And notice the places of restriction, holding, tightness and disconnection within the breath. And holding a space for it all of it in its perfection, your light and your shadow, your limitless nature and your restricted nature. Holding a space of reverence and gratitude for the whole of you. And as we breathe together, as we set this intention to discover more of our own multidimensionality, let's feel the web of light being created by us all of our hearts, our souls, our intention, the purity of our purpose, the purity of how deeply we desire a world of peace and harmony and love and connection. And how we're all working together to dismantle the illusion and the old paradigms. And feel through your breath and your presence in this moment that this new grid of light being created is getting stronger and stronger. Feel it pulsing inside of you. Feel it pulsing beyond you. Feel yourself receiving the light from the other beautiful humans in this community. And as you're innately and intimately connected with this grid and we're all interconnected together, coming back into your own heart space, fourth dimension of your consciousness. And in this moment, get curious. I wonder if you can discover something new in your own heart, in your own spiritual heart in this moment. A new level of intimacy, a new level of holding for yourself, a new level in your ability to witness yourself and your heart, however it's feeling in this moment. Soften the body, soften the breath. Soften even, I can sense a lot of us are like really trying, just even let go of the need to try, like you're already there. You already are this level of consciousness within yourself. Meet it with grace and gentleness. Just laying down any effort and just be here, be it. And enjoy it. Enjoy the frequency of you. And even if there's pain in your heart, if there's grief in your heart, allow yourself to just be in the experience of that. Such a gift to be in this human body and a profound opportunity to be here now. We are masters walking among masters, and to be in a human body is such a rare gift. And so we get to experience grief in our heart. We get to experience a disconnection in our heart, as well as the expansion, as well as the light. Like, while we're here, let's experience the full spectrum. So whatever is present for you is your doorway into this meditation. So over the next few breaths, we're going to start the journey that's coming through for us. We're actually going to go down into our Earth Star chakra. I'll guide you down there. We're going to spend some breaths there. We're going to feel the vibration of that level of our consciousness. And then we're going to move up into the 8th dimension. And this journey is really the 3 hearts of creation, the heart of the earth, our human heart, and the heart of the cosmos. And our intention in this journey is to, through our awareness being there, through experiencing this part of ourselves, we're bringing these 3 hearts of creation into unity, into oneness, into an embodiment. And so whenever you are ready, anchored in your heart space, anchored in your body, you can gently float your awareness down, down, down the body, penetrating the floor of the building, your home that you're in, going into the earth underneath your home, and penetrating deeply the earth, going into the rich soil, the root system, the energetic grids of the earth. And as you allow your awareness to float down again with curiosity, with compassion, with commitment towards yourself, you are going to just find the sweet spot of your Earth Star chakra. This is our 2nd dimension of consciousness. And so you will likely notice a shift in energy in your body when your consciousness meets and finds and moves into your Earth Star chakra. Your body will respond. You will feel grounded. You will feel safe. You will feel connected. And if you don't feel those things, then that is beautiful as well. And so just be with your experience. The first time I ever explored my my Earth Star chakra, ideally it's deeply rooted into the earth. My Earth Star chakra was like a balloon tied to a string that was tied around my ankle. And I was so ungrounded in that time of my life. And so it was no surprise that my Earth Star chakra was flapping around in the wind like a balloon tied to my ankle. And so if that's you, or you have any other kind of weird experience that I'm not guiding, just know that it's just golden information. That was golden information for me, that my Earth Star chakra was not inside of the earth. And so it took me a lot of practice to penetrate it down there by using my awareness. And so you can even, if it feels good for you, move your base chakra deeper into the earth, plant it deeper, plant your light body deeper, plant your intention for being here deeper. And feel how your body's response changes energetically. This place within us, this part of ourselves, our Earth Star chakra, holds the original calling of the earth to your soul to be here at this time of her evolution, and to be at this poignant and potent place in the cosmos for this time in the collective awakening. There was a time in your own timeline when you were a soul on your own journey and you heard the original call of the earth. I need you here. I need your light here. I need your wisdom. I need your soul embodied in a human body. I need that body's feet on the earth. I need your heart beating in the energy of me, contributing to humanity. I need your gifts, your voice. I need you here to speak for me, to share your truth on behalf of me. And your soul said yes. Your soul knew that it had exactly what it needed to contribute to this awakening. And in that moment, you said an embodied yes, and you came here. And so feel, you don't need to get any conscious information. It doesn't need to make, in fact, if it makes sense to the mind right now, you're probably not in a deeper place to really receive the truth. Let go of getting any conscious information and be in the vibration of this information. Let your light body remember your original yes. And fill yourself up with it, taking some deep breaths now, filling yourself up with this energy, this information, reminding every cell in your body, every strand of DNA, every chakra, every droplet of blood, every droplet of water in your body, letting every part of you be washed with this information, with this ancient information. Be the vibration of your purpose here. Be the vibration of your original yes. Beyond the illusion, beyond the restriction, beyond all the limitations we have in physical form, both our bodies, but also the collective conditioning that we swim in every moment of the day. The illusion that says you are not powerful, that you are not here for a vital purpose, that your contribution isn't the most important thing in the world. And over the next few breaths, bringing your unique and personal journey into completion. Whatever way feels safe and complete for you, knowing that you can come back here whenever you need. And just gently allowing your awareness now to float back up into your heart space. And let's practice those breaths of safety and integration. So a gentle, smoothed out, silky breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Sending a message to your nervous system, to your energy body, to your ancestry, to your past life self, to your full multi-dimensional reality. You are sending the message that you are safe here and now. You are safe in your body. You are safe to access these deeper levels of your purpose. You're safe to access your original why and to integrate it with the information you already know about yourself. And it felt really important to stay down in that Earth Star chakra to have a deeper experience there. And so we'll be finishing up here in the heart, in cultivating safety in the body. And here, like, get really curious. What does it feel like for you when you instruct your energy body and your nervous system to feel safe? What do you notice? What's present for you now that's not in day-to-day life? How do you know that you feel safe now? And these are the clues your body and energy field are going to continue to give you for you to walk this path, for you to find all the information that you have encoded within yourself. Beautiful breaths. Integrating, grounding, cultivating safety. You can hold the new light that you've just accessed and embodied. And whenever you are ready, you can open your eyes, you can move your body in whichever way feels good for you to continue to integrate, to continue to build safety and capacity to hold more of yourself. And I just am in such deep gratitude for every single one of us. I felt this collective, our collective original yes. And it hope that you felt it as well, because it was so powerful and so love-filled. And so I'm just so grateful that you said yes to being here and you are already doing the beautiful work you came here to do.
Thank you so much, Justine. It was wonderful wisdom session as well as your meditation session. It was, I'm lack of words to express that. So I'm deeply expressing my gratitude to you and to your wisdom. Thank you, and for your time, taking out your time for us. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Lavanya. I'm just so honored to be here and to be invited into this space. And everyone here is just doing such beautiful work in the world, just being who you are. So thank you so much. And thank you, Hari, for the invitation.
Thank you so much, Justin. So I'm really honored to have you on this platform and amazing summit. We'll keep seeing. We won't leave you. We'll
I'm glad.
keep seeing you, and then we'll keep meeting. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Beautiful souls.